I would like to call this meeting our regular City Commission meeting for Monday, July 24th, 2017 to order. If you could please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us this evening. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. It doesn't appear we have anyone for the invocation this evening, so we'll move on to roll call. Gladys, please.
Cole? Here. Hess?
Here.
Moore?
Here.
Tarney?
Here.
Bianski?
Yep.
You have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you, Gladys. And let's go on to public comments. Citizens are allowed up to 3 minutes to discuss any agenda item.
Your item, or Your Honor, we do have somebody from the ministries for the invocation.
We start right at 7. Sorry, that's okay. You go right ahead, sir. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. We need to coordinate a little bit better. Thank you for coming. Can you please introduce yourself to everyone?
I'm Nate Babcock. I'm the preacher at Buchanan Christian Church. So nice to see everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, let's pray. Father, you are King of the nations, Lord of justice and peace, and Lord, we're grateful for your presence and blessing in the community of Buchanan. We're thankful for these folks who dedicate their time to leading this community, and as they deliberate this evening, I pray that you'd bless them and guide them. I pray for those in our community who are in need, that you'd watch over and care for them, and help us as members of this community to be your hands and feet in helping others. In the name of Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. And thank you very much for coming this evening. All right. Anybody for public comments? Okay. Let's move on to item number 5, consent calendar. Do we have any changes? Or
We'd like to request to add a check in the amount of $4,500 to the Apocalypse Blues Review. It's the band that's playing the last Saturday at the Common. It'll be this coming Saturday. It's the last one, and they were in this morning requesting it. Actually, TJ, one of the developers down there, asked for it. So if we could add that agenda, that would bring your total to $424,714.82. Again, that's $424,714.82.
okay.
We didn't give the check to the band already, though, did we?
No, I've got it right here in my hand.
But we're not going to give it to them, are we?
No.
Not until after they play.
Right.
Okay.
So
Right, they get it after they,
We just have to
That's
write it
awful high,
now.
isn't it?
when it's,
Is that what we're paying for bands?
well, we don't pay it. The last Saturday concerts are paid by a couple of companies. They donate, they pay for it. They donate
And we
it
hold
to
the money and then
they
write the
donate it
check.
to
The money
city.
runs through us.
Right.
Yeah, comes to the
Okay.
city, they donate it to the city.
I didn't realize we was paying that much for music.
Just on our last Saturday one.
Not on the Thursday night ones, we don't.
And it's paid for with donations, so.
Right.
So we're going to
So-
increase the check number then to,
So, and the check number goes to 75198.
Okay, are there any other additions to the consent calendar?
If we could include a report from the fire department under 6A, reports by department.
Okay. Okay, I need an motion to approve the changes to the agenda.
Also move.
Can I have a second?
support.
Okay. Roll call?
Hess,
Yes?
Moore,
Yes.
Tarney,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yes.
unanimous, Your Honor.
Thank you. Let's move on to item number 6, reports by departments, committees, and boards, and we're going to hear from the newly added to our agenda fire department. Come right on up.
You know I don't want to miss a chance to speak at the light.
I know.
Are you going to ask us for money? Sorry.
Oh, no, I know that's why I'm usually here. Actually, I was here to, we have our officer elections every year. What we do is, every year we elect the two positions for lieutenants. We have a first and a second position for lieutenants. And then on the odd years, we either re-elect or elect for our assistant chief and our captain. The official reason we're here is to introduce you to our newly elected lieutenant, who is Evan Kaufman. However, he got called in. He's a full-time firefighter for Clay Fire District. So he got called in for a shift for that tonight. Otherwise, he'd be here. So the whole reason was to introduce our newly elected officer. Because for you guys, I want you guys to be able to put a face to the name. But it's Evan Kaufman. I don't know if any of you know the Kaufmans or not. Obviously, they've been in Buchanan a long time. Yeah. So he's a really good firefighter. Like I say, he's full-time at Clay. Good head on his shoulders. He's our newly elected lieutenant. The other lieutenant, most of you probably know Joe Scanlon, or Earl Scanlon, Jr. He's been a lieutenant. Now this will be his second year. Of course, Captain Tim Wesner over there, and of course, Assistant Chief Bob Laylock, who was taking care of a lot of business in the last couple of weeks while I was away. So that's the main reason we were here, is to talk about that. But since I'm here, I'll just throw in a couple things, let you know that for the thrill, we're going to be obviously supporting it like we typically do. We're taking on a couple extra roles this year. We've agreed to take on some roles with some minor repairs as needed with the thrill itself. And I guess we're going to try to sell some pizza, I guess, from somewhere. It happened while I was gone, I'm not sure. So we're going to be quite busy, but we'll be there. And then Bill asked me to throw in a thing. There's, if you're familiar or not, with radios. Right now there's a big push with the county chiefs. I attended the meeting last month, and Bob went to the meeting this month since I was in New Mexico. But the push right now is for all departments to go to the 800 megahertz radios, which is what the police have been carrying for a while. That's their primary radio use. Most of the fire departments in the county are using either VHF or UHF radios, and then we have 800s additionally. Back a few years ago when there was a big push for the 800s, most departments got a couple of them, a couple of radios each through the grant. Some departments expanded that, some didn't. But so right now, because from what Dave Agent says from the county dispatch, is down the road, that's going to be a requirement from the state anyway. So what we're looking at is a pretty large grant for not only 800 megahertz radios, but 800 megahertz pagers also. So they're looking at a countywide grant for all the fire departments. As far as I know right now, there's only one department that's abstaining. All the other departments have agreed so far. The only thing is just kind of to let you know that what they're looking at is a 3 to 5% match, which is pretty minor. It really is. But you got to remember, these radios and pagers for 800 are much more expensive than what we typically buy. This pager, when we got these, were about $350 a piece. The 800 megahertz radio and pagers are around $3,000. So a little different. So the match would definitely be a significant amount, but it'd be very minor compared to most 10 or 20% matches. So that's something that's going on. We haven't got it finalized yet. Probably by the end of next month, we'll know for sure. And we'll obviously, it all depends on if the grant gets approved or not. But just kind of a heads up, that's kind of where we're going. And it's going to be countywide. It's not just Buchanan. That's kind of... so that's coming up. So those are kind of the biggest things coming up right now. Obviously, we got a bunch of stuff in August. First, the National Night Out is in the first part of the 1st of August. Of course, the Thrill. I can't remember what else. There's a few other items going on in August. We have our fire department picnic that we're going to invite you guys, anybody that wants to come to, on the 27th. We do it out at Life Action Ranch. They let us use the lake there at Fuller, not at Fuller's, but at their part of the lake at Clear Lake. So we try to do a family picnic for the department every year. So that's pretty much everything I really want to talk about. Just give you a heads up, but the main reason was for the officers.
Okay.
So I don't know if you have any questions for me.
Great. Dan?
Here?
Who's behind mandating the $3,000 radios?
Well, it's as far as down the road, from what Dave Agents told us at the meeting last month, that's where the county's going. Within the next 3 to 4 years, that's where we'll be going. I know that in Indiana, like in St. Joe County and all that, they're already going to it because their state's already mandated it. So like Clay and all those areas down there, New Carlisle, they've already went to 800. So now I don't have anything official for you. What says that? But that's what Dave
They're
told
all
me.
pro fire departments though, aren't they?
Pardon?
New Carlisle is volunteer, but Clay is pro.
Correct.
Professional.
But it's statewide for all
So is it the union
departments.
that's doing this, or what's the reasoning behind it?
I can't answer that question. I don't really know. I mean, I know that the 800s have proven to be good radios. The police have used them for a long time. And the new improvements, one of the problems we had when we first you started using 800s as a fire department was that you get what they call bonking, where they wouldn't, if you were in a concrete structure or in a basement or something, you wouldn't be able to get a signal out. They've done a lot of improvements to that over the last few years. So now, not only you get the advantage of the 800 megahertz radio, that's a very good radio and can talk statewide, you now have got better reach, or whatever you want to call it, through where you can get in and out of these buildings, which was a problem for us because as a fire department, you got to be able to communicate with guys that are inside a burning structure versus the
But
people
you're
that are
talking
outside.
300 as opposed to 3,000. So I mean, that's what the point I'm trying to make is why 300. You have something that's working, and
Well-
what they're trying to say is, you don't need to talk to Detroit, so why do we need a $3,000 radio?
I understand what you're saying, and that's true. I mean, if we had a large event, we may have to talk to Detroit if they had a very large event, because they're part of Mavis, and maybe they would call. It's a possibility, a long stretch, but a possibility. But the reason I'm saying is the narrow banding. I don't know if you're familiar with narrow banding for VHF and UHF. We went through a huge narrow band from like a 12 band down to a 6. And from what Dave tells us, it's going to narrow band again. So as those bands get smaller, it's harder and harder to get good communications with the VHF and UHF. So that's kind of the reasoning, one of the reasonings behind it. I can't answer to why the state's mandating it. That I don't know. But I do know that we are looking at more narrow banding coming up, and that'll make our UHF and VHF not work as good as they do now, for lack of a better term.
Dale?
So.
I just want you to let Evan know, congratulations. I've watched the boy across the street from me grow up. Unfortunately, now that he's grown up and has a family, and I don't see him as often, I am very proud of him. He's a great person, so please pass on my congratulations to him. He's an outstanding firefighter. I know he works for Clay too. So, and I believe he's also studying on paramedics.
He's licensed paramedic too, correct?
Yeah.
So he just recently got his certification.
If you see him, tell him stop by. I want to personally thank him.
I will.
Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? All righty, hey, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's move on to number 7, unfinished business. We're at item A, acknowledge emergency expenditure to repair City Hall air conditioner in the amount of $9,673.13. Bill?
Mayor and Commissioners, in your packets, you see three invoices from Hickok Plumbing and Heating to get our system up and rolling, air conditioner back. We were without air conditioning for about 10 days. It was pretty stuffy and uncomfortable in here, but we endured it. And Gladys can probably tell you it was stifling in here at times. Now, what you have here, we are deeming an emergency situation, trying to get a contractor to reschedule us to come back and get the work done. We would have been without air conditioning for a lot longer. As you see in the room here, you see the larger square vent areas. Those are duct into our primary supply vents that are in the ceiling area. He put 36 of those in City Hall. It is a little bit quieter in here from what we're used to. And we did try to clean some of the narrow vents. The area where you see unfortunately the dirt coming out, that is dust. Those are unique vents that were installed at the time the system was put in. I couldn't even tell you the year, but they're also vented with a screen on top of them. And the screen has small holes. Those holes have been congregated a bunch of dust and scale, and almost impossible to clean. So what we did, we basically abandoned that system and went to the larger vents. Much more modern. The pressures aren't resisting the system. There isn't any back pressure because when he went, as you see some of the invoices here, he had to go in and change several components on the system because it was geared for the smaller vent system, which created a lot of back pressure that was wearing on our components in our system. You know, it's long and drawn out, but this is much open, better flowing, and the components he had to change were sized actually for a 12-ton air conditioning unit. We have a 25-ton air conditioning unit for this building. Overbuilt by Clark at the time, yes, but that's what we have. And the components that they use, the controls they used through the years were designed for a 12-ton system. And so it was creating inefficiencies. So that's the extent of the additional $9,000 we had to come up with to make the system right. He's very confident that we're in good shape. For moving forward, we were able to get the more modern refrigerant. We've moved away from R22. We have the 307, which is believed to be the refrigerant that will sustain itself in the future. There are a couple of other ones that are out there vying for, the go-to refrigerant, but he believes that we're in good shape with the availability in the future of this refrigerant. R22 is on its way out. Right now, it's $90 a pound, and we have our system handles 40 pounds of R22. So this other stuff is a third of the expense of the R22. So, and I tried to keep you in the loop on the need to move forward with the contractor here to get our system right. And now, this is what the emergency expenditure cost us, and I'm looking for approval for that number.
Okay, any questions? All righty. Do we need to make a motion, or we're just acknowledging it?
I think we need a motion.
Okay,
I'll make the motion that we approve the emergency expenditure to repair City Hall air conditioning in the amount of $9,673.13.
I'll support.
Okay, thank you. Roll call?
Moore,
Yes.
Turney,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yes.
Hess,
Yes?
Cole,
Yes.
unanimous, Your Honor.
Great, and I'm really glad they cleaned the black stuff off the ceiling. It looks much better. All right, moving on to new business. We're going to talk about Resolution 2017.07, Resolution Number 1, the intent to establish Special Assessment District, tentative designation of a Special Assessment District, notice of a public hearing, Special Assessment District for Emergency Medical Services through Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Service District Number 1. And right now, we're just going to talk about setting up a public hearing. So, Bill?
I think I'll recognize Brian.
Oh,
since
sorry,
he's
Brian, yep.
available to brief us.
Good evening. So we have brought all the municipalities together over the course of the last, it's been about a year now since we started this process, redeveloping the SMACUS funding structure for the way the communities provide funds to SMACUS. This last winter was the last year that the Special Assessment District existed. It expired, and so that was our last winter to get assistance from the communities under that structure, and the communities had to come together and come up with a new structure. One of the things that I've reported in this room in the past is, you recall For a while there, we were coming here and saying, hey, we're in trouble financially, things are tough. Well, a lot of that's changed, and SMAC is heading in a very positive direction, I think. We did post our first six-figure black, in the black numbers last year, and I think that was the first time in many, many years that we actually had black, but we went from 6 figures in the red to 6 figures in the black. So we've made a lot of positive changes. We're feeling a lot better about where we're going. As a result, you don't see a lot of change in the new funding structure. We're looking at still at $20 parcel. There was some changes in making it real property and not just, help me with the other term. Municipal funding is not my specialty. I'm great at, huh?
Commercial, I'm sure.
Yeah, developed or whatever the term is. So there's a bit of a change there in the structure, which will change some of the revenues that come in. But in general, we're very pleased. I was very pleased with how well the communities came together and developed this plan, and I look forward to having this taken care of.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah, we were previously paying $20. We're going to continue to pay $20 under this assessment. The assessment does go to SMACUS, and in general, it kind of is earmarked or presented towards capital purchases. That's the hardware, the ambulances, the cots. Again, when we're talking cots, these cots are $5,000 plus. The striker cots that I'm sure Dr. Moore's familiar with them. They are amazing units, save a lot on our workman's comp issues because they are able to lift a lot of different challenging patients and be able to control them better to get them in the ambulance. So that's a lot of what these dollars do go towards. Overall, the special assessments of all the communities combined work out to be about a little over 400,000. Is that right, Brian? Or are we
correct? Yeah, it'll be a little bit higher, but in the past about 430, 440, somewhere in there.
So that's what the community raises in support. The challenges of SMACUS, and I think Brian will tell you, and I think even Commissioner Vigansky mentioned that our state is, and Dr. Moore, you're probably very familiar, Medicare, Medicaid is not a very good payer when it comes to care for patients, and SMACUS experiences that daily. So it's just about, I don't know if we can even cover our expenses on some of our runs with those type of rates, but so this additional money is always appreciative and needed for us to keep the quality of care and response that we have benefited from. So.
Okay, Dan?
Memberships, I always bug you about these memberships. Now, Medicaid, you're not going to get them to buy membership. But Medicare, I don't know how it works as far as ambulance service. And do you send out reminders? Because I became a member, and I really wish when your drivers are running around, stop at the senior homes, the older folks' homes, and drop off some applications. Push this application, because that's how these insurance companies make money. I did call Pagel, I did call Pros, I haven't called Upton, and I haven't called Schneider yet, but I intend to, because Michigan is bad. And I think what I'm going to try to find out is if the funding goes to the state, where's the money going? Because I'm not sure, but I think the funding goes to the states from the federal government. Is that correct, Pat? You would know, right? It's federally funded, right?
What are you talking about?
piece?
Medicare or
Claims
Medicaid?
Yeah.
Well, patients it's a complex situation, to quote President Trump. You've got people pay premiums for their Medicare insurance, but Medicare, as far as the payer community, they have a set amount that they allow for you to bill. So you must absorb anything over that. So if you've spent like a lot of, say a patient comes in, they've got cellulitis, they start IVs, they start drips, they get them stabilized, you may get one portion of that allowed because that's all predetermined ahead of time, not what that actual individual patient required. You don't get that. You get an average that was set way back when,
But
back in
state
the
of-
olden days.
The state of
And then
Michigan is
you
really
have to
bad
just-
about reimbursing, way
It has
worse than a lot of
nothing-
states.
Let her finish.
Then you've got Medicaid, which covers a lot of other services, such as getting aids to handicapped people to go into the schools and other functions like that. And in a situation where, like providers, not everybody even takes it because you actually, like if I saw a patient with Medicare and Medicaid, if Medicare pays more on their portion than what someone would have gotten if they had only had Medicaid, the state says, well, we're not going to pay you our portion because you already got more than what we would have paid. So if you can follow that, you're screwed. And if you did that yourself and just wrote off that on behalf of people, you would be in jail because that's illegal as far as Medicare goes. So this is a very complex system, and they can't change what they bill people. It's already preset for most of that, and the commercial insurers follow basically Medicare protocols. So it isn't like the legislators, it is like the state Medicaid pays very poorly everywhere. So that's why a lot of people don't even take it. It's not even worth you filling out the paperwork only to get denied for some reason. So, but they have people that they hire to get that, and obviously you're turning all of that around. You're actually getting reimbursements, and so.
And one of the things that you brought up, the Medicaid is low, and in the state of Michigan, ambulance Medicaid reimbursement rates are the same as they were in the mid-90s. So
Well, that's
Exactly.
my whole
So,
point. Michigan is worse than any other state. So it is our legislators that can change that. Indiana reimburses, and this is just experience from my own personal doctors.
Yeah.
I don't know about the ambulance service,
Right.
but I know Michigan, we can't even find doctors in this state. So, that was my whole point.
Yeah.
And I am reaching out to them, and I know she deals with it nonstop, and I know how complicated it is for my own personal sickness, But the point being is, we each need to start saying no to what we need to change it. And I just feel that we can start changing some of it.
And to answer your question about promoting the membership program, we do have some money this year earmarked for the membership program. I'm holding off on any kind of major expenditures or capital expenditures until the new funding structure is in place. I'm holding that money as a reserve until we get that new funding structure in place. But once this is all said and done, you're going to see a fairly large promotional event happen to promote our memberships. And I don't know what that's going to look like yet. I'm going to hire actual professionals to do it so it doesn't end up looking goofy. But and Bill has some ideas for me there. But we're moving forward with a major promotion to get that word out there on those. So.
I hope it'll help.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping it really helps.
It's
Because on
good-
the Medicare
good
Part
program.
B and D, even on that, because it's not very expensive. And I don't know how, private insurance, it helps substantially because private insurance doesn't cover it either.
We could, depending on how well we promote this, it could have a major impact on SMACS's finances, so, in a positive way, so we're
And
going
I
to move
would-
forward with it.
And I would like to say on behalf of the commission, thank you, because I know you walked into a situation that was very chaotic, and, And you literally did come and have to say quite a few times, we need our money sooner. And we appreciate that all you're doing to protect our residents. And I was at a call the other day of a dear friend, and the professionalism and the encouragement and the support that the people gave, not only to the patient, but to all of us who were gathered there because we cared about this person. I just want to give you hats off to everybody because you're very important to us, and we appreciate all you do. So thank you very much. Did anybody else have anything?
I think Brian's doing a great job.
And you put it really well. These guys are well-trained, and I've heard from other areas, I wish we had an ambulance crew that was as well-trained as what you have.
Yeah.
And having had to use you guys a number of times, I have no complaints whatsoever with their professionalism.
Great, that's good to hear. And I think, as we're talking about the things I accomplished over the last 3 years, I want to reiterate that I couldn't have done it without a great board. They were huge in supporting that and making that happen. And we made some big, scary changes over the last 3 years, and that's how we got here, so.
You've done a fantastic
Thank you.
job.
Thank you very much, and thank you for talking to us this evening. All right, I'm going to need a motion to pass a resolution so we can have a public hearing.
I'll make the motion that we approve resolution number 1, intent to establish a special assessment district, tentative designation of special assessment district, notice of public hearing, special assessment district for emergency medical services through Southwest Michigan Community Ambulance Service District number 1.
I'll support.
Okay, roll call, please.
Who seconded that motion, Your Honor?
Dale did.
No,
Carla did.
Carla.
I did second. Support.
Bianski?
Yes.
Hess?
Yes?
Moore?
Yes.
Turney?
Yes.
Cole?
Yes.
Unanimous, Your Honor. And that
Thank-
will be Resolution 157.
Thank you very much, Gladys. Okay, we're going to move on to item number 9, public comments. Citizens are allowed up to 3 minutes to discuss any non-agenda item. Don't everybody all rush up at once.
Norma.
Hi, Norma.
Hi, Norma Ferris. I want to talk about voting. The signs with the weather need to be stabilized. I know last year, or the last voting, the sign out here was down probably more than it was up because of the wind.
Okay.
Something needs to be done so you don't have to go out there and lift the sign every 10 minutes.
Okay, great. We will put that on our to-do list for the next election. Thank you very much. And we're all in the building, so we don't always know that happens. So thank you for letting us know. All right, anybody else? You already got your chance, Mr. Adams. Sit down. No, just kidding.
Round 2.
All right, and with that, since we have no other takers, we'll go on to item number 10, city manager's comments. Bill?
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Let me do a real quick rundown of a pretty significant event coming up August 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Just to give you kind of heads up, this has kind of been our working board on the Thrill on the Hill. The slide is about 500 foot long. Again, positioned in the normal location on Front Street, starting from the Legion on down towards Johnson Court. Again, some of the things I think you've already heard is that we're moving the kids area Friday night at 4, going up to 1:30. We will be running a shuttle from our 9-acre parking lot off of River Street. Dial Line will be running shuttles from that parking lot back to the event and so on, to try to be prepared for the crowd that will show up. Let's see, moving on to Saturday, the band shells not going to sit idle. We were able to attract the attention of 2 additional bands, which we are paying $150 per band for 2 hours of playing. Again, these are bands that have played at Thursday night at the Common, and so they're pretty popular, nice groups. So we have 2 of those on Saturday. They'll play late afternoon and then early evening for a 2-hour set. Let's see, Friday night, the Chamber will be running carriage rides out of this area here. We'll have a bunch of picnic tables here for people who bought from the vendors to go. Saturday, we have the Thrill the Art program. Right now we have 15 to 18 vendors, art vendors that'll be in here in this area. We have room for 21 total. So that'll be another activity for Saturday to offer some distraction from the hill. Now Smokes Vision Center, they'll be running a fundraiser on Saturday to raise funds for the Lions Club site mobile. The Legion will be running a booth of their own on their property to raise funds for police and fire department. Actually, one of the vendors, I believe, down here will be the fire department. That'll be running some. What will you be selling?
Most likely pizza. I wasn't at the meeting, but it sounds like we said
Oh yeah, good. So they'll be doing a fundraiser of their own there. So again, what I'm very happy about is that Thursday at 4 o'clock, when this 3-day event opens, we will still be in the black with the amount of sponsorships we've had for this event. And so we've gotten a lot of support there. And that's one of the reasons why we can keep this event so affordable. It's $5 a wristband for the day, or if you want, you can buy a 3-day wristband for $10. So really affordable. There's 31 hours to the total event that will be up and rolling. We have 450 tons of sand coming in, and again, that sand, as you are aware, that's the same amount of sand we usually use annually for our roads during the wintertime. So all we're doing is getting delivery a little bit earlier than we would have normally gotten it towards the fall. We're just getting it midsummer. So afterwards, we stockpile it, and that's what we work off of all winter with mixing it with the salt and the sand. So, I don't know, Gladys, am I missing anything?
So did you bring a cot down here to sleep?
Well, that's what we end up doing. I mean, almost.
P.S. Dump Your Boyfriend is the band that plays every year at Three Oaks Flags. So they're very well known. Or I don't know if they play every year, but they've played several years. And the only reason why I know about them at all is because my wife is a music fanatic. And she's one of the few bands she likes to go listen to. So
It'll be I think a real positive addition to the atmosphere on Friday. Again, my primary goal is to make sure that the hill is operational. The fire department will be supporting us in that with some dedicated firefighters to manage any repairs on the hill during the course.
What kind of response have you gotten from the downtown businesses, like the food establishments? Are they going to, I mean, normally people can only do that for so long, and then they want to wander around and see what's in the town. So are they taking advantage of this opportunity for all these thousands of people to walk up and down their sidewalks?
Try to be diplomatic.
We can shut your microphone off.
Yeah,
We haven't heard of any. We haven't heard of any.
you know, some of them will take great advantage of it and some will not. And that's the unfortunate part. I think, they're there, the people are there, the businesses just have to figure out how to get them down and come into their establishment. Floyd Creek Tavern, they do really well.
They run
Bucktown Tap
specials.
did really well when
Right.
they were open. There's great opportunity, and this type of event adds value to anybody that's looking at that business saying, wow. And Steve will gain a lot this year from the event, because he's pretty close to opening up his doors. So he'll have he's at ground zero.
Can I comment on that?
So, yeah.
We went there yesterday with some friends and family, and they are offering a special. They're going to have Michigan-made bratwurst and chips for $3, and you can either stay there and have it, or they'll put it in a little, to-go container. And they're very, very, very excited about the Thrill on the Hill. And their tap room is open. They're still decorating it. They're still working on, new tables and stuff. But they are very excited about the Thrill. So.
I think it'll, the bleed over will come that way. Again, if you approve for the next year's event, I see Dewey Street being a site for something. It may be the art show will move to Dewey Street. But those, that's kind of where we're at.
How about the new bakery? Is that going to be open?
I don't know. I would suspect she was all excited about it as well. So, yeah, we're going to have some people taking advantage, and I think the more we can get doing that, it'll spur the others to maybe rally themselves or put out something down that area that would draw some of that crowd.
Well, I would encourage, if anyone's out there listening, part of the DDA, that they, through the chamber or through the DDA, make a list of things that they are offering connected to specials, and maybe if people have a wristband or whatever, and we could have a, like a post or a notice where people buy the wristbands that, hey, these are specials going on. With your wristband, you can even get deals on these things.
We've offered to all the businesses to put a sandwich board down at the event, indicating.
Put the arrow.
Yeah, advertising, because as you said,
Right.
they're tired. If it's warm, they're going to want air conditioning,
Right.
a place to sit down.
Yep.
And that'll draw people.
Right,
But,
exactly.
and a little bit of special, a free soft drink with your meal or something would cause them to
Right,
have
pick
some
your
interest
place.
in those businesses.
Right.
So, again, these people are here, I want the business area and the businesses to figure out how to draw them down. They'll come down, but,
Got to be open.
well,
Carla has a question or a comment.
I just want to make the comment that, the DDA has encouraged the downtown people to open up. And, they sometimes complain that the city doesn't support them. Well, it's a two-way street. And I think it's a shame that they don't want to open up those stores and attract that attention and get people in there. They might not buy anything that night, but by golly, they'll come back. I've been in other towns where I've gone through their store for a festival and not buy anything, but I went back.
Yeah.
And I think that can happen here, so it's just a shame that they're not participating.
bringing in a few thousand people can't be bad.
Exactly.
So it's a great opportunity.
I think it's a gradual thing though, too. And the food places would definitely be a big mistake. As far as the antique dealers, and having been a bar owner, running a special, it's difficult.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
putting the menus out, Bill, that's a really good idea. It really is.
Yeah.
And anybody that does, you know, like the ice cream,
Yep.
she would be really wise to be
Yep.
open. But the antique dealers, you know, the kids and, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty nervous just taking my puppy in a couple of
I mean,
places.
that's fine, and, but there's a segment of the business district that could highly benefit from the event, becoming involved. And again, the invitation is there.
Yep.
Bring your sandwich board down, place it right there. We'll tell you where to put it, you know, we'll watch it for you and the whole thing. And so that invitation's out there. And again, we've gotten gift certificates from downtown to help support all the activities. Gladys is a big part of that support with the activities, Pam Avalos. We have, this year, we're having duck races. Our ducks just arrived, so we'll be having a duck race every day, or excuse me, Friday and Saturday.
Real ducks?
No.
Hey, I already bought mine, and they're winners, so don't bother Mr. Vigansky to buy any, because mine are going to win.
But we'll drop them into McCoy Creek and pick them up, and so I think that'll be a fun little thing. Did we order an outfit for the mayor to wear? Was that? I think so.
Yeah. The mayor's not wearing anything except a standard old swimsuit. But thanks for thinking of me, you guys. It's great.
Well, then we do need somebody to, Dan, you'd look good in the yellow feathered outfit for
Oh,
the
I've been a
race.
duck before, Bill, and it didn't work out very well.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's kind of where we're at with that. Outside of that, we've been tackling a little bit of a major sinkhole behind James Jesse's office. I don't know if you had a chance to stop, but they have made those repairs. I think actually today they were bringing in the concrete to replace the sidewalk. So, you know, that was significant, and we still have to talk with the gas station owner about the amount of water that comes off of his building. He's got a drain back there, but it's undersized. What we're hoping to get him to do is put up some downspouts to direct and control the water better than just flowing off of his building. So that, you know, that was one of the several repairs that we've been doing. We have been working with the school. They're redoing their parking lots up there. So we've been the benefactor of all the their old pavement. So which we use because we have a number of alleys in town that will resurface those alleys with this material.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because
My
those.
alley's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, and we realize that, so we've graded some of those alleys, but now we'll be able to put the like the crushed gravel, crushed concrete or asphalt on those and compact them, and that should get us at least passable in a lot of them. So, yeah, National Night Out is August 1st. That's a Tuesday night. That's at Centennial Park. I'd love to have all you come down, and that's a fun event down at Centennial Park.
7 o'clock, Bill?
6 to 9.
6 to 9.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, yep, that's all I got.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, on to commissioners' comments. Let's start down on this end. Commissioner Dale?
Thank you, Mayor. In regards to the city and the alleys, I've had a couple of very nice comments. Smith Street, I believe, we were down in one, and a couple of people kind of contacted me, and they were very happy. I won't mention some of the critters that have been coming out of there. They were happy to see that, and so they want me to express a big thank you to the city. The other thing is, I think I spoke to you and maybe the mayor. We have that meeting with the city of Matson on August 21st. The mayor The mayor of Matson's secretary called me, and they will be putting us on the agenda, and they will probably emailing me sometime first or second week in August, and I can forward that on to you. I think I also thought as a possibility, as of a gift to the city of Matson, Illinois, a CD of our town, Buchanan, because they are wanting to come to one of our meetings. And, the mayor, Sheila Chamber, her new married name, I think it's Curran, is working that out because they work on a limited schedule in July and August. So I thought I want to let you know, and we can discuss how you want to come, and I'll be more than happy to drive since that's sort of my old neck of the woods out there. Also, I talked to Monroe LeMay, and we've decided on August 2nd at from 9 to 10, I'm going to join over at the Senior Center as a get to know the commissioner from Buchanan and take seniors' questions and then see what kind of responses they have, and I would bring them back to the city. My understanding is that no city commissioner has ever done that. And so I said I would be more than happy to do that, and we might do this on a monthly schedule. So we're going to do that. Also, I had an interesting conversation with Linda Strohai. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. She is the head commissioners for the Meals on Wheels for the county of Berrien. If I may, could I read something which she handed to me, or does that?
Yeah, no.
Okay, this is just basically for the Berrien County, and the Meals on Wheels in the county serves actually 3 counties, Berrien, Cass, and Van Buren counties. So in 2016, they served 50,940 meals to 1,474 seniors. Meals on Wheels is just not driving, have drivers go to seniors who can't get out. It's also that they have them at the senior center. I think, Gladys, you might know that too. An interesting point on home delivery meals. I believe there's 36 seniors in Buchanan who are on the Meals on Wheels program, okay? Home delivery meals are provided in Berrien and Van Buren counties for seniors 60 plus who cannot shop or cook for themselves and do not have anyone else to help them. The program provides much, much more than just a meal. It also needed social contact and safety check. Our drivers are truly the eyes and ears for families and health care on a daily basis, so that a social visit is important and helps our clients to remain living safety and happily in their own homes. In 2016, we served 98,791 meals to 635 homebound seniors. Meals are delivered each weekday morning. All meals are prepared without added salt, which was another interesting aspect of that. Average is 800 milligrams of sodium, 800 milligrams of carbohydrates. Some special diets can be accommodated. Who gets home delivered meals? 38% are over 85. 69% are Caucasian. 30% are African Americans, and 66% are women. Who pays for these meals? We ask for a donation for each meal, but do not deny anyone if they cannot make a donation. We do not receive any county senior millage money for home delivery meals. Meals are not paid for through Social Security or Medicare. So based on the conversation with the lady, she asked me if I would care to drive with one of the drivers here in Buchanan. So I said, yeah. So I'm going to set something up in August to try to meet some of the seniors who are on this program, since their only contact is these drivers or anybody else. They can't get out. And some of the stories she told me were just sad. So I thought it would be a good idea to do that. The other thing is, I've already contacted the National Night Out, and I will be one of the commissioners there from 6 to 9. So I just thought I'd let you know on that. With that, Mayor, I'm done.
Okay, Carla?
Just everybody come down to the thrill. It's going to be a great time, and kids and parents and grandparents will have a ball, so come on down.
Thank you. Dan?
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Mike. I raised Cain with you. Have you made a meeting yet with the other firefighters and BBB? Bill Nisley asks me every time he sees me. The thrill sounds like it's getting pretty big. I think it's going to grow pretty good for you, Bill. So now we need to stop the winter one. That's all I got to say.
Okay, Commissioner Moore?
Yes, this coming weekend, there's still a chance to get to see some very cute children in their costumes and the new play Through the Looking Glass, directed by Kelly Carlin. And it's a musical, so there's singing, and it's amazing how wonderful some of these people's voices. I mean, the kids, the older kids, it's amazing how good the singing is. So it's a short play, so it won't take a lot of time out of your busy schedule, but try to make it this weekend. It will not be Saturday night because they are giving up. This is the Commons cooperation here. The play people have given up Saturday to the Last Saturday concert series, and the Thursday night concert series has given up their concert so the play can be on Thursday night. So the concerts, which have been really well received, will resume not this Thursday, but the next Thursday with the I think they're called the Slackers or something, or some. It's basically the Van Dykes, and they're coming back on Thursday, so we'll be resuming then. This Thursday, Friday, and Sunday will be the children's play, and then on Saturday will be the blues band. So everyone worked together. Nobody was 100% happy, but everyone worked together. And everyone's going to have their evening come off very well. I also wanted to report on one of my other groups, the Friends of Oak Ridge Cemetery, had an interesting meeting this month with and at the Masonic Lodge, and we got to actually see some of the ledgers from their meetings in the 1800s, where they actually wrote what was passed at the meetings and things, and they have all this archives, amazing archives. So it was really a treat, and so I think there's going to be a long-term cooperation between those two groups. So my theme is cooperation. So with that, that's it for me.
I like it, thank you. I just wanted to let everybody know that we've started a tree board, and it kind of lost steam. Well, this past week, thanks to the Preservation Society who passed along the word, we had, I think, between 10 and 12 people. And it wasn't just people just interested, it's like people with knowledge, people that know about trees, have significant, experience with different types of trees and how they grow. We also have 2 people that are experienced tree trimmers that actually have worked with cutting trees away from power lines. And so watch for some interesting and kind of exciting news coming out of the tree board. We're meeting in 2 more weeks to plan out a whole entire year of meetings and topics we want to address. So I'm really enjoying that. So we would take more volunteers. If you want to know about it, you can just email me. Another group, some of us have been getting together with the help of Make a Difference Buchanan and the Boy Scouts to clean up at the North Shore Park, which is our boat launch at the north end of town. You just take, as Redbud curves, you just take that little shoot off down towards the library and educational services. We've had 2 work days there. This one kind of got canceled, but then people went ahead and worked, so lots of weeds have been removed, garbage has been picked up, and a lot of brush has been collected. It's just starting to look really nice, and we have an elderly gentleman that pulled up in a truck, and he sat there the whole time, and he called us over, and he wanted to express his thanks because that's something he does to relax. He comes there and watches the river, and since we've cleaned up a lot of the brush, he can now have a clear view, and it's just so much nicer. So if you haven't been down to that park, please swing by and just check it out. Our next project, we would like to kind of take on the road because there's some drainage problems and just see just have some potential. That park has a lot of potential, and we just need to throw some effort its way. So if you'd like to volunteer with that, you can email me as well. And Monday night, I had the privilege of going to WNIT, our local PBS station in downtown South Bend, and represent Buchanan for our town, Buchanan. When they came in February and talked to us about this project, I thought they were crazy because they don't come and film everything and do all the talking. They came and had 2 meetings here at City Hall. People threw out ideas, people claimed ideas, and then they did all the work. I was just amazed. They took the footage that local residents made and the still pictures, and then they invited the people to come either to the library or they met at a couple other places, and the people told about their particular thing. So I'll just give one example. The school farm, we're not, having a school farm is kind of a unique thing to Buchanan. I don't know of any other communities that actually have a school farm. So Mark Nixon and Wade Amiel, they did the talking, and they just put their presentation in with their footage, and there was like, an overlay of a narrator talking a little bit too, put it all together. It was fabulous. We came, a bunch of us, they needed 6 people to answer phone calls, to take pledges, and they expected to make $2,500 in pledges. By the end of the night, they had made $4,000, and the next morning, I got an email because it ran twice. They ended up making over $6,000 when they only anticipated making $2,500. They said it was, one of their highest rated shows. We had the most participants, the most stories to tell, and the PBS station is very proud of Buchanan, and I was just thrilled to be mayor. I got choked up a little bit a few times. I'm glad they didn't ask me very many questions on camera because I was a mess. It's great, and they're going to run it again. If you didn't get a chance, you can also get a CD of the show, or a DVD, I'm sorry, by making a donation. So I just wanted to give a shout out to all the people that helped with that project. When they told me about that, I was like, this is never going to fly, and boy, I'm so glad I was really wrong. I apologize for doubting, so thank you, Buchanan. And with that, that's all I have, so I'd like to call this, I'd like to adjourn this meeting. I forgot what word I was looking for. Can I get a motion?
Move to adjourn.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. All right, great. Hey, thanks for coming, everybody.